Hello everyone, welcome back to Critical Rocket. Today it's the Evolve Big Alpha. This is a game made by Turtle Rock Studios, the developers who brought us Left 4 Dead. And this is another game in a similar kind of vein, with the idea of 4 human players versus 1 monster player. At first that might sound a little unbalanced, but you'll quickly see in this game that the monster can be very dangerous. The dynamic is supposed to be 4v1, and the human players have the advantage in the first stage of the fight, and as the longer the match goes on, the monster player can become stronger and stronger, and eventually the tables will turn and the monster is incredibly powerful, and the human players have to rely on hit and run tactics and using all of their skills to their best of their ability. As far as I can tell, the story of this is supposed to be humans are encroaching on an alien world, and the other alien species, whoever they may be, are sending these genetically engineered, I don't know, I guess all you can say is monsters. I guess you could say aliens. There are going to be 3 in the final product. The alpha has 2 at the moment. And these creatures have to destroy a power relay that obviously is important to the colony for whatever reason. Maybe there's an air filter. Well, I guess there is an air filtration. Maybe there's some kind of reason that this power relay is so important. Maybe it causes like a reactor to explode or something. But regardless of that, yeah, the game is very fast-paced in very beautiful environments. So it's made on the CryEngine, the same engine that's currently being used for games like Star Citizen and MechWarrior Online. And yeah, you can just see this is the game running on high settings by default. I'm running on a NVIDIA GTX 760 with 2 gig of RAM and on the GPU, and I think about 16 gig on my system with an i5 processor. And yeah, I really like this game. The dynamic is fun, although it at first sounds like it's unfair on the monster. The trappers and the hunters really have to be on the ball. If they're not, the monster can very quickly overwhelm and isolate a single player and do a lot of damage quickly. So the players who are in the hunters team are broken into 4 different skills. The medic is the type who will use a sniper rifle. Every time they hit the monster, they'll create a weak spot. You can actually see the weak spot on the monster's leg there on the right leg, the little bluish circle, double circle. If the other teammates hit that, you do double damage basically. The medic can obviously also heal, and they can also tranquilize the monster to make it slower. And as you can see, the green outline on the beast there means it's been tranked. The class I was playing in this video was the support, who is a very beardy fellow, let's say. He uses a type of arc welder, I think. Correct me there if I'm wrong. His duty is to do big damage with his gun at sort of short to medium ranges. He can cloak everybody, which is good for egressing or trying to revive people while the monster's occupied. He can use a portable shield, which you saw earlier, which will protect another player from damage. And his biggest attack is his artillery strike, which is difficult to aim with, but if you can hit the monster, it does ridiculous amounts of damage. The assault is a guy, you'll probably see him whenever he's firing. He'll have like a big lightning gun basically. His weapon can chain across different enemies, and he's capable of using an assault rifle as well to hit enemies at long range. And basically he just drops mines, but you can also become invulnerable for a short time and do significant damage to the monster while it's just ineffectually flailing on him. And the last one is the Trapper. The Trapper is the class that has a very weird item called a mobile arena, which basically creates a force field that prevents the monster from escaping. If you're inside it as well, it prevents you from escaping. So if the tables turn, you suddenly find yourself trapped in your own trap, so to speak. They also have like harpoon traps, which will drastically slow down the monster's speed, and they won't be able to jump very far or run at all. And they also have a pet. You might see it's called Daisy. It's the little purple health bar there at the bottom of the screen. It's like a little alien dog monster. It's kind of cool. That'll actually revive you on its own as well. It's completely AI controlled. You have very little control over it yourself as the player. And the Trapper is armed with like an SMG, so their skills lie more in being able to keep the monster in one area to allow the assault and the support to do all the big damage. Now the monsters themselves, currently there are two. There's the Goliath, which is the one I'm hunting in this video. It's a very large, sort of lizard-like, I don't know, almost like ape lizard type monster. Basically, it relies on being able to move very rapidly, climbing cliff faces and such, and doing lots of damage up close very quickly. At higher levels, it can breathe fire and also throw giant rocks, which I think you might see it. There we go, there's a giant stone there. It missed my artillery. Now, what the monster player can do, because first he starts out quite weak, and that's the best time for the hunters. If the hunters are on their game, they will very quickly trap the monster and kill him before he's really had the chance to start. Normally, if the monster can keep ahead of the curve, he can kill some of the ambient wildlife and consume them, and by eating them he gains points toward the name of the game, evolve. They can evolve into 3 stages, and the 3rd stage is the most powerful of that chain, and basically when it's at that level it does ridiculous amounts of damage when it hits. Its fire breath can chain across and do damage to multiple enemies. And yeah, it becomes a real pain in the ass. The other monster in the game is the Kraken. Unfortunately, I couldn't get footage of the Kraken because at the moment everything is kind of locked behind a leveling system, and I've yet to see anyone who's grinded the XP to unlock that particular monster. Only once I see it, and it was being controlled by the AI. And that monster is a lot slower than Goliath, and he seems to focus a lot on using sort of lightning attacks, chain lightning, creating his own kind of traps to pull everyone into one spot. He looks like some kind of weird sort of Cthulhu-esque monster. It's quite cool actually. Out of the two, I think the Kraken looks the best. We don't know what the 3rd monster is yet. There are still ongoing bets on what that's going to be, but I've heard that the most popular choice is a burrowing type monster. So, as you can, there's the fire breath there. So he's gotten to stage 2, and as he gets to stage 2, he gains more health, and the monster will get more armor. The armor, as far as I know, regenerates. The health does not. So it's all key in every encounter to try and keep the damage to yourself to a minimum, and for the hunters to try and do as much damage as physically possible. Even if the monster escapes, they'll have still done some significant damage and really increase their... Also, much like the monster in the game, there are other unlockable hunters as well. I'm not sure if they have different playstyles or different abilities. I know one of them does, so maybe they all do. There are 4 other hunters in each class that can be unlocked as you progress, and the progression system seems quite fair, with things to do damage with a particular weapon, use an ability, protect some players, like for instance with the support, protect players from damage with the shield 60 times. So these are things that will slowly rank you up, and you unlock new perks, things that give you, let's see, health regeneration, better jetpack, fuel, more height, better damage resistance, bits and pieces like that. It's quite... it looks like there's a lot of progression to go through, and unlocking everything for all 4 hunters, and then unlocking everything for the monsters. Again, unfortunately, I couldn't get footage for the monster because from the monster's perspective, because basically it seems like a lot of people who want to play the monster are already very good at it. So when you try and join a random match in the current alpha, you pretty much always get a hunter. In my experience, unless the flip side of it is sometimes you can be a level 1 player and you get dropped with the monster, and I can understand a few early players' frustrations with this. I imagine when this goes live at launch next year in February, the game will probably turn a lot of people off, because playing the monster is hard at first by the looks of it, because you need to be aware of the map, you need to be aware of the tactics. From what I can tell, if you do get into this and you got to play the monster, basically make a beeline for the edge of the map and start moving around and killing and consuming prey as quickly as possible, because as I said, a well-to-do hunter team will find you very, very quickly, and they'll just eat you alive before you have a chance to really be a threat. Yeah. It's not to say that the monster can't be particularly effective. I've played plenty of rounds where the monster just kicks the hunter's ass. It's just There's a bit of a steeper learning curve because the hunters are a kind of straightforward lot, you know. Of course, like, I've got a gun, I point the gun, I shoot the monster, you know, you do damage, you wear it down. I mean, as you can see here, that he's surviving, but we're kind of grinding him down. And this, I felt this was a good match to put up because A, it showed off a lot of the map as we were running around it. B, there were a couple of good moments. You saw spells. You see equipment being used, special abilities being used. You should hear a lot of the dialogue from the characters. They're very chatty. You might see some other things that will pop up on the screen sometimes, like these red and yellow dots. Like in Battlefield, if you press Q to spot, it basically works the same way. If you hover your reticle over the monster and press Q, you'll get a red spot that appears on the monster, and that'll highlight to everyone on your team, he's over here. And sometimes your character will make a remark like, there he is, he's in the distance. You know. The monster isn't completely stealthed. You see that at the top of the screen with a bird icon. That usually happens when the monster gets too close to some of the wildlife, and it will immediately fly away and obviously avoid being killed by the creature. And that's when you get told that they have evolved to level 3 at the final level. So you're always aware. Now, I think this is something that needs to be changed. He's evolved, and there seems to be a little animation that you can't skip. So as the monster, you're kind of stood there doing your thing, and the hunters can just run up and shoot you in the ass. He took a lot of damage from this, so I felt it was a little unfair. I assume this will be changed by alpha time, by the time of the alpha's end, and probably the beta that's coming up. We're actually pretty close to finishing this now. As you can see, the mobile arena goes up. You can see the blue hexagonal or diamond kind of energy field that's around that prevents him from escaping that area for a short time. That's a mine that the assault class can drop. But you'll see that he does a lot of damage. There's one of the team just went down. I'm using my cloak ability so I can get over and res. Already someone was getting them up. But when you're cloaked, it seems to be a lot harder for the monster to detect you, although I think they can use scent to smell you as well if they take the time to do that. But so far, just from this alpha, a couple of hours of play, really enjoying this game. It's not going to be for everyone. I think some people are expecting a much larger experience. This is a very tightly controlled experience that has a lot of very good mechanics that work solidly together. And if you just want a game for like you and 4 other friends, I think this could be really, really good fun. Maybe as a random thing, it might not be as fun if you're just playing it on your own. I would recommend only getting this with a couple of mates to play it with, really. And yeah, there we go, we won. And just to close off, I would also like to say that I have a couple of spare codes for this alpha that will be running until, I believe it said 8 PM or AM PST on Sunday. So I will be giving those codes away to the first 2 people who comment. They will get the code as a message to them through YouTube. So good luck to anyone who gets there first to watch it. Just a reminder, this having the alpha does not mean you own the game. It just means you have access to the alpha. You will still have to pre-order it, and the game is expected to be released in February of next year, sometime early to mid-February. So thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck and have a good weekend, folks. Critical Rocket signing out.